What is up, guys? Welcome to another video, and today we are here with Boosted.
What is up? And today we're going to be discussing our top 5 racing games throughout our entire life, I suppose, childhood, whatever you want to say.
Whole fucking life. It's a long time.
Whole life, everywhere, all over the place.
Okay, so firstly, we should get into number 5. So on my list, I've got Hot Pursuit 2. You're gonna notice there's an ongoing theme with mine. There's a lot of Need for Speed games. There's only one game in my list which isn't a Need for Speed game. But yeah, Hot Pursuit 2 at number 5. More specifically, the PS2 version developed by Black Box. Absolutely amazing game. It lasted me so long, and I don't know, I just thought it was really well built. Absolutely loved that game. Yeah, it's pretty good.
I would personally, well, to be honest, I didn't play it that much, so I didn't. I mean, I played it. I definitely played it. I know I definitely played it, but I didn't play it that much because I was kind of too busy I was trying to like play my other games, which I will get to. So I think I should go into my number 5 now. I think I should. Yeah. So my number 5, you may think this is a bit weird, but Forza Horizon, the original one on the Xbox 360, and my main reason of that is probably because that was when I started getting into all this cool drag racing, cool kid stuff that you guys probably see on my channel if you go all the way down to the very bottom, like when I started my videos. And yeah, that's probably why it is number 5. It wasn't the best game. It wasn't a very polished game, to be completely honest. I mean, you couldn't even tune your car, for God's sakes, which is just terrible. And the graphics weren't even that great, to be honest. But it's just that it was a solid game that you could all just go on and play and have fun on. So that is why that is number 5.
To be honest, Horizon 1 was really good. But I think the reason I prefer Horizon 1 over Horizon 2 is just because Horizon 1 was so much harder.
Yeah.
Like, it was harder to drift, it was harder just to win races.
Like, you couldn't even tune to drift, so, like, you had to actually be good.
Yeah. Like,
and also Forza Horizon 2, in Forza Horizon 2, you can complete, I mean, you have to complete the game many, many times in order to actually get, like, all the rewards. Whereas Forza Horizon, the first one, there's like it's not really a story, but
it's a loose story. I'd say there's more of a story in Horizon 1 than Horizon 2.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, definitely.
Like, yeah, like at the end, like when you bet, there was one person you had to beat. There was like a quote unquote raiser of the storyline.
Yeah, right at the end. Yeah, I remember that.
So like, I guess there was a story, but like, I don't know. I just felt like it was a better made game. Horizon 2 feels more rushed to me than Horizon 1.
Yeah, but that is a good thing because although Forza Horizon 2 does feel rushed, it is still a very, very good game. So that should hopefully mean that Forza 6 is, should be good. Hopefully.
No, Forza 6 is going to be shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it carries on from Forza 5, then we are absolutely fucked.
All they need to do is literally HD remake of Forza 4, label it Forza 6, and everyone
yes.
will be happy. That's all they need.
I would play that game forever. Right, do you want to get into number 4?
Number 4. Okay, so number 4 is my only non-Need for Speed game in my list, and that's Burnout Paradise. Now, I don't know, I just think this is going to be an unpopular choice for some reason, but Burnout Paradise was a sick game. Everything from the open world to the amount of events, like you could literally put like days and days into that game and not finish it. Like it took ages to complete. The amount of cars, the kind of little customization stuff. The DLC was even done well. Like they had that one DLC called Big Surf Island. I'm not sure if you played much Burnout.
I played, actually, weirdly enough, I played it more on my PC than I did on any, and I got all the DLC on Burnout Paradise. And it was a very, very fun game. But the main reason I liked it was because of the crash physics. So, yeah.
I mean, like, some people prefer Burnout 3 Takedown and stuff. And to be honest, I mean, on a different day, I'd probably switch them around. But today, I feel like it's Burnout Paradise. I don't know, I just thought the DLC was done well. Big Surf Island was done amazingly well. You had all of the toy DLC. And
yeah, the toy DLCs were so fun.
I just thought it was a really well-polished game. Honestly, I think it's probably one of the best well-made games of all time, not just racing games, but probably one of my favourite games of all time as well.
For what they were aiming for, they definitely done a very good job of doing it.
Like that was the reason why they had the lead on Need for Speed in like 2010 for Hot Pursuit 2010 was because of how well Burnout did up until that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think like Hot Pursuit 2, that wouldn't be in my overall games list, but Burnout Paradise would. It was such a well-polished game. Anyway, your turn.
Right, well, sadly I don't have Burnout Paradise on my list, or at all actually, but for number 4, now none of you have probably ever played this game, and if you do, then I love you forever, because it is an amazing game, and it is the first game I ever played on I think it was my PS2 or my GameCube, I can't remember, but it is Hot Wheels World Race. Now, none of you probably remember this game. I'm pretty sure, Cam, you have absolutely no idea what this game is, which is completely fine, because it is an extremely old game, but if you have played it, you will know why it's good. Basically, if you imagine a Hot Wheels game, you think of explosions and big tracks and nice cars and flying and all that stuff. Yeah, this game had all of that and more. So that is probably why it's number 4. I was thinking of putting a different game up there, but that game was what got me into like cars and racing and stuff in terms of gaming anyway. So that's probably why that has to at least be on number 4. So yeah, that's pretty much.
Do you want to know a fun fact about me, generally? I never owned a PS2 until like 5 years ago.
Oh Christ, wow.
I was PC Master Race up until PS3, and the first game I ever owned was actually Hop Shoot 2.
Oh wow,
Facts.
I've owned 2 PS2s. Or was it? Yeah, no, 2 PS2s. I owned the slim and the fat one.
Like I've got one sat next to me, a silver one now, but I didn't own that till like very recently, like very recently. Anyway, number 3, again going back to the Need for Speed theme on my list, Underground 1. Now, a lot of people prefer Underground 1 over Underground 2. I don't personally get it, but you know, Underground 1 again, it was another well-made game. Sticks to the kind of theme with my games. You know, it took long to complete, so you know there's plenty to do. The customization was obviously a first ever, and that was mad. The car list, again, for what it was again good. I just think Underground 1, I think Hop Shoot 2 introduced me to gaming, and then Underground 1 kind of took me in, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It was just one of those games which it really just enhanced my love for gaming generally. I'd argue if it wasn't for for Underground 1, I wouldn't be making racing videos. Probably wouldn't have bought an Elgato. I don't know. I don't think I'd be into gaming an awful lot if it wasn't for Underground 1. So has to be in number 3.
That is fair enough. I did play Underground 1. I definitely did play it, but again, as soon as I didn't really play very much, but then when Underground 2 came out, that's what really brought me into the NFS franchise. So Underground 2 was like my first main Need for Speed game, which some of you who are like proper hardcore NFS people probably hate me right now, because that means I probably didn't play any of the other ones. So yeah.
To be honest, for me personally, I think Hop Shoot 2 was the only proper good NFS. Like up until Hop Shoot 2, it was kind of samey. Like it was kind of just getting off its feet. It was good. Like it was a household name, but it wasn't like a global name. You know what I mean? And then after Hop Shoot 2, Underground 1, Underground 2, and that's when we saw the kind of the golden age, so to speak.
Yeah, I would definitely say that was when it started getting really good. Right, so what, my number 3 now, I'd say?
Yep.
Well, we're still sticking to the NFS series, and that is Need for Speed Pro Street. Now, that is actually quite a recent game. I think it came out in 2008, maybe?
7.
Was it 2007? Okay, my bad. There we go. Shows how much I know about Need for Speed games.
Well,
but yeah.
I mean, I have dedicated the last 8 months to making a documentary about it, so you kind of.
I do suppose, yeah, you probably know all of that. Yeah, Need for Speed Pro Street was absolutely amazing. Like, none of you probably thought it was going to be a good game until you played it, because it's like, oh, it's another track racer. There's no free roam. There's no cops. It's not your average. It's not your like proper Need for Speed customization bonkers crazy game. But it was an amazing track game. It was so good. Like you could do anything. Like it was carbon customization type stuff. You could auto sculpt. You could put rims on, like different color rims, different types of rims on each car. You could put wings, body kits, everything. It was just amazing. And then obviously, the main reason why I liked it was the drag racing. They had a dedicated drag king, and that enough just blew me away, to be completely honest. And she was a woman too, which was a bit weird.
Even though it was called a king.
She was a woman who drove a Mustang, which was really weird. I don't know. But yeah, I think just generally because they kind of like some games don't notice drag racing as a sport, which is a bit upsetting really, because I love it. I'm not really sure about you, Cam. You're probably not really a big fan.
I mean, I prefer going sideways.
Yeah, that's completely fine. I love doing that too. But me, drag racing is, I mean, it's not really recognised as a sport very much at the moment in terms of gaming. So when they brought this game out and they recognised it as a sport and they gave it an entire section, I was just like, I love this game, it's amazing. And then they had wheelie contests as well, and I was just like, yeah, this is my favourite game ever.
The only issue I had with Pro Street was especially in the speed challenges and the grip challenges, it felt like the controls were just way too twitchy.
Yeah, you would literally, like, if you moved your analog stick a millimetre to the left, you would fly off into that canyon and blow up. That was
my only issue with the game, because like I was playing it like a couple of weeks ago just to try and get some clips and stuff, and I remember I was using one of the first Corvettes, I can't remember which one it was, and I was facing the Speed King, and we were literally going down a thing. I didn't move, and for some reason, next thing you know, I'm in a fucking hill, totaled.
Yeah, I know, that is literally, like, you fly over the hill, and then you just, like, you try and correct it, but before you've even realised, you're already, like, halfway over the road into the canyons, so,
like,
yeah,
the drifting mode and the drag racing mode were pretty spot on, but the grip modes were just a bit, like, I felt it was a bit too twitchy.
Yeah, the grip modes, and I think they got a bit too anal about the whole like grip and speed and stuff. They made it as if your car was literally like a Scalextric track type of car, like where Like it could just, well, actually no, Skeletal Tracks is the complete opposite of what I'm trying to say here. But you kind of get what I mean.
Yeah,
but I think Pro Street in general was a very, very good game, very polished, and that's why it's number 3.
It's number 3. Okay, well, number 2. Okay, well, the rest of my list is going to be so predictable if you know me. But number 2, Most Wanted 2005. Now, number 1 and number 2 are just ridiculously close. I played quite literally, I'd say I played months of these games. I still play them today every now and then. You know, like, I absolutely adore these 2 games. Most Wanted 2005, obviously number 2. The Cops just brought a whole new dynamic from Underground.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, I just felt it was just a great game. It was a great game. I think the reason why I prefer, you know, my number 1 over, okay, everyone knows. Okay, my number 1's Underground 2, but we'll talk about that in a minute. The reason
God's sakes.
The reason that I preferred that is I think mainly nostalgia, and I don't know if it was longer again. Like I just like long games.
Need for Speed Most Wanted was, well, I'll get to it.
Yeah, Most Wanted was long as well. I don't know what it was. I just can't pick between the 2. If I had to pick between the 2, I just would say Underground 2 was higher. But anyway, you go for your number 2. And
my number
1,
two, my number 2 was a game that was very loved on basically every console it was on. It is Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition, but not just that. It was the Dub Edition remix, which means it had more cars, more tracks, bit more of a career.
And Tokyo.
It was, and Tokyo, of course. How could I even forget about Tokyo? This game really opened up customization for me. I think it was just amazing how you could choose any car you wanted in that garage, and you could do anything you want to it, and then you could go and race it out in the streets like at night, and it was just the way that you raced as well wasn't like, you know, your average racing game. You bashed the hell out of people if you had to. You didn't care. You literally smashed through shops and all sorts. It was just, I don't know, I just really liked that game, and I put a lot of time, a bit too much time probably, a bit too much time inside than I should have into that game. So yeah, that's probably why it is number 2 on my list.
Well, you gotta say number 1 because I've already said my number 1.
Oh, okay, well, should we go to honourable mentions before we go on number 1, because we haven't said anything about honourable mentions. Okay, do you want to go for yours?
Alright, so honourable mentions. Trackmania 1. I doubt any of you guys played this. I know for a fact you haven't played it.
Didn't play it, no.
But Trackmania, it was literally the Minecraft of racing games.
Yeah, it does. You can build tracks and stuff, can't you?
You can literally do whatever you want. And you got to keep in mind, back in 2005 when I was a little kid, you know, I was still on PC. It was just mind-boggling. Like, you could make snow tracks, you could make valley tracks, you could do all types of stuff. And there was, you know, the actual career mode itself was really, really long. You had all these other types of events and modes, and it was just a game. It was mad. It was absolutely mad. As well as that, obviously Midnight Club 3, Midnight Club LA. Really enjoyed that game. Forza Horizon 1, GT5 as well, Gran Turismo 5, Gran Turismo 4, great games. And every NFS besides Shift. To be honest.
Right, is that what were they?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, well, on my honourable mentions I have Smuggler's Run, which was on GameCube, and if you haven't played it, that's completely fine because no one probably did. I played it a lot. And it's basically, you're basically in the military, but instead of being shot and shooting and blowing up and stuff, you were basically the person who drove all the cars, and you basically ended up spending most of your time driving buggies and chasing people through mountains and stuff, and it was just amazing. And then next on my honourable mentions is Need for Speed Underground 2. Now, you'll probably hate me right now because that game is like the holy grail of Need for Speed games, and it's in my honourable mentions, and it is because as much as I did like it when I was little, I've tried to play it now, and normally you love a game so much that you can play it whenever you want. That's why you love that game. But I really don't like that game very much now. So yeah, please don't hurt me. Forza Motorsport 4 is also on my honourable mentions because that game was just, I think that was just a bloody solid game, to be completely honest. And that's my honourable mentions. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So number 1, I've already announced mine, so I'll just discuss why I think it's number 1 again.
Fair
so
enough.
Underground 2. Again, I think nostalgia mixed with just how well polished the game was. I still go back to Underground 2 every now and then today and play online with friends and stuff, and I just thought it was a well-made game. Like I said earlier on, Underground 1, you know, it could really pull me into gaming, and then Underground 2, it just kept me down. I couldn't get up. It was no, I was addicted, and then it just escalated and escalated and escalated. I think Underground 2 was my peak. I don't know whether Most Wanted 2005 it peaked it even more, if it kept it the same. I don't know what it was, but I just have a connection with Underground 2, I guess. I don't know. It was just a great game.
That Underground 2 is definitely, I mean, everyone knows that is one. Well, it has to be up there definitely with the top Need for Speed games of all time.
Do you want to know a fact? Do you want to know a fact? Underground 1 and Underground 2 have sold more copies than the whole Forza series, like all the games.
That wouldn't surprise me a little bit because even the crew has sold more. The crew has sold more copies in Forza Horizon 2. So that's Forza's not really doing that well, weirdly enough. I don't know why, but there we go.
Anyway, your
number one.
What is it?
It is, of course, Need for Speed Most Wanted 2005.
Yes.
Now, obviously, it's got to be there. Now, I put even more time than I did Midnight Club. I put way too much time into this game, and just when you start that game, and you're racing against what's it? I can't actually remember. Right, that's it. How do I not know these? Right, anyways, and you're racing against his Mustang, and you're in the BMW, and that BMW is like the car you have to own. You have to own that car, and then it breaks down, and then you start your career, and it's just, I don't know.
Spoiler alert, Jesus.
Oh, right, yeah, sorry, if you've not played Need for Speed Most Wanted, at the very start of the game, your car fucking breaks down, so don't try and win, because you're not going to win. But yeah, I just think that game was just amazing all round. Like, even, like, I think it was the graphics as well. Something about the graphics, it was something a bit different. Like, it was kind of, it was like the ultimate street racer kind of graphic setting. It wasn't, like, dark, or, it wasn't too dark, it wasn't too light. It was, like, misty and eerie, and it was just, like, I don't know, the way they set that game was really, really damn good. And that BMW it's just
a great car. I would say it's probably one of the most iconic cars in a racing game.
It has definitely 100% has to be up there. That is just that livery they made for it is just on top.
When you think of Need for Speed, when you think of racing games generally, I guarantee a lot of people would probably think of that M3 GTR as the first car that comes into their head.
Definitely, 100%. It's just such an iconic car in the racing game community.
Even like the soundtrack, like it was a mix, it was a literal mix between rap and like rock.
How could I forget the soundtrack? God!
Since when has anyone heard like it's literally a blend of rap and rock? Like since when did that exist?
Like there is a song in there that literally is I Am Rock, and that is an amazing song. And yeah, that's the other thing I completely forgot. Like the soundtrack is just amazing. Like when the cops come and like it gets really, really intense because of the music they put on, and it's just so good. The way that they made that game is
I'd argue for every Need for Speed the soundtrack's been good. Like Underground 1, you load into the screen, it's like dun dun dun.
Yeah, I suppose.
And then you got Underground 2, you got Riders on the Storm when you load in. I don't think a Need for Speed game has really got the soundtrack that bad, besides like maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah, I think they always do know how to put their soundtracks. That's probably where like half of their budget goes, to be honest, like licensing all those songs to be in the game.
Honestly, like a soundtrack is a really big part of the game, but I don't think many people pick that up for some reason. I think like a soundtrack, like it can break. Like honestly, for Carbon, the only reason I don't play that more is because the soundtrack pisses me off because it's the same Pursuit OST, on repeat, and that just annoys me. But I can go back on Most Wanted and just sing along with the songs and have a jolly old time.
Yeah, I think Most Wanted. Yeah, definitely. I think that's probably I think Most Wanted is my favorite in terms of soundtracks about out of all the games I've played, just because. I don't know, it's just the soundtracks are just on point. Like I've even gone onto YouTube and gone to listen to the Most Wanted soundtrack.
Oh hell yeah, I've got it downloaded.
Just because. That's just, that's pretty much it,
Anyway, is that it? Is that rounded?
I think we've got it all wrapped up, I think, for our top 5 racing games.
Alright, so if you guys enjoyed, hit the like, subscribe. Subscribe to both our channels down below in the description, and we will see you in the next video. Any last words?
Thanks for watching, I suppose, and I was about to say the same thing you were.
So yeah,
you already did the typical YouTuber outro, so I can't do it now. God damn. Okay. Well, yeah. I suppose. I mean, if you guys want to leave comments down in both our videos, because obviously we'll be both uploading this. I'm pretty sure. Hopefully.
Yeah. Let us know if you want to do this again. If you want.
Yeah, definitely. I'm up for doing this anytime.
Well, not the exact same video.
We can do a different topic. If you want to suggest a different topic about racing games and stuff like that, or if you want to put down your top 5 down in the comments, anything. Just get some interaction going, get some talking going. That's what it's all about, man.
Yeah. So if well, I'm not going to say it again. I'm just going to say bye. So bye.
Yeah. See you later, guys. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.
This the kind of beat to go.